Okay, boys and girls, this lesson is based on the painting by Henri Matisse. It was painted in 1912 and it's called The Goldfish. So you're going to see this on our PowerPoint, but also I've got the poster here. And the goldfish are in this glass bowl, this dish, and I want you to look at this shape here. This is called an ellipse, and this is what we're going to start to do today. Is we're going to draw using a black oil pastel this whole scene, and then I'm going to show you very briefly how to start your painting and how to finish it. So I'm just going to put this poster to the side and I'm going to give you an idea of what we're going to do today. Just pop that down there. And this is our drawing that we're going to do, and we're going to do it together as a class, okay? So you can see it's all done with lines, and if you make a mistake with your drawing, it's not a mistake whatsoever, because you can paint over any areas that you do. So I'm going to put this here, and we're going to get heavy paper. We're going to be using tempera paints, but first we're going to do our drawing. So with a black oil pastel, always remember, boys and girls, that you're going to put your name on the back, but I'd suggest you do that at the end when you do your drawing, because if you make a mistake and you're not happy with the beginning of it, you can turn it over. We can use the other side first and then do your name. So what we're going to do in the middle first is we're going to draw an ellipse, and just basically in the middle of the paper, just slightly lower than in the middle, this is an ellipse. Okay, now if you're not too sure about how to do it first, I will let you do it very lightly in pencil, but only this shape. I don't want you to draw your whole thing in pencil because it's different drawing with an oil pastel. You get bolder shapes. So once you've done your ellipse, you're then going to draw two vertical lines going up. Not all the way up to the top, just about there. That's pretty good. I'm happy with that. Then I'm going to draw another ellipse at the top. So now I'm going to connect it. So I'm doing a curve, bringing it round and bringing it round again. Okay? Now it was sitting on a table. So I'm going to add another ellipse. So I've got 1, 2, and this time I'm going to go like that. Okay? So I'm going to give you a moment to get caught up. So we did the ellipse in the middle here, two vertical lines, which are the sides of the vase, another ellipse at the top to close that in. Now we've got that object, and then an ellipse for the top of the table. Now that you have your fish bowl, what we're going to do is we're going to illustrate a water line, and we're going to put an oil pastel, draw a line like so. So I'm just going to do that. That's like at the front, but of course it's going around the back as well. So I'm just going to go around the back, and there's my water line. Okay, so I've got water in there. Then I'm going to do my table. So what I would like to do now is to add a line and a line coming down, just two short vertical lines, and then I'm going to bring it round. Now I'm going to give you a handout, and you'll see the handout gives you some options for the table base. Now you'll be able to see the base that Henri Matisse had on his painting, and I'm basically going to replicate that too. So how I'm going to do that is I'm going to draw a vertical line and another vertical line. So I've got one leg for the table there. I'm going to do a vertical line and a vertical line and bring it right down to the bottom. Now what I want to do is just like Matisse, is actually just join it up. And he had a curved shape on his painting that went like that. Okay, and he had another curve like that. And like I said, you're going to see options. You can even create your own table base. It's up to you how you'd like to do that. Now, there's also going to be a background line, so we can illustrate that this table and fish bowl is in front, and this is behind. Did you see what I just did there? I did little tiny dashes just to show, because when you look through water, you can still see what's going on behind it, but it has a blurry effect to it as well. And now what I'd like to do is just taking organic shapes, leaves, flowers, anything that really inspires me and what actually inspires you. Make them big though, don't make them tiny, because if you make them too small, you remember you've got to paint inside. So if I'm going to draw a thick stem, I'm going to basically do an upside down love heart, and there's a leaf. If I do another big stem and do one that looks like it's overlapping, like that, and then he's got some flowers I'm making some really simple shapes, and you can do the same. Just simple shapes for my background. And then inside the fish bowl, he actually had about 3 or 4 fish. I'm just going to look and see what kind of size I need. So I'm going to do my fish. They're a bit shaped like lemons with triangular tails. How I draw it, I go arc, arc, and then tail. And I'll do another one here, arc, arc, and tail. Okay, I'm not putting a lot of detail because I'm going to do that with my painting. And I'm just going to draw some random organic shapes to fill up some of the space that's around the table. And he actually had a chair here, so I'm just going to draw some lines. But again, you can just add in whatever shapes you want to fill up that space around it. Now I'm happy with my drawing there, so what I want to show you now is, very briefly, we're going to start in the center. I always talk about painting, and when we paint we always do the farthest points first. But I want to show you something. I'm going to start with the water, and this is called double dipping. You're going to get some white tempera paint, and I'm going to give you some blue tempera paint. What we always do first is we dip into the white, so the white always stays clean, and then I'm going to dip a little bit of blue. And without doing too much, I'm going to go around, and I'm not blending on the paper. What I'm getting is a painted effect. So I'm getting these white and blue brush strokes. Now look at the way I'm going. I'm going in the direction that I want the water to go. So I'm not going up and down. I'm going round in this shape. I've got enough paint on there. I'm not over brushing it because I want to show that I've got white and blue in the same brush stroke. Now I'm going to be very careful. I'm going to just dip a little bit of white again and a little bit of blue and just finish off the areas that I didn't get. So I get this area here and dab it on, and there it gives you a real Matisse look. And I'm just going to do a little bit up here where my water is. I'm going to dab it rather than brush it, and I don't mix it because I want to have that white and blue showing through, as I said earlier. Now I'm just going to wash that, and I'm going to show you something else for the background. When you look at Matisse's painting, it's reflecting the colours in the back. So I'm going to just get some yellow, and I'm going to use a little bit of green because he's got a lot of yellows, pinks, greens, but I'm going to use yellow, and I'm just going to dab behind inside the fishbowl, so it will reflect what's going on afterwards beyond it. So what I mean by that is that when I go up here, I could add in some greens that are stronger and some yellows and dab. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue with this painting. When I finish this painting and it's dry, I'm going to give you a very fine paintbrush and some black, and you're going to go over where you drew your black lines in oil pastel and pull out your painting again. It really does give it a contrast, and it makes it striking. I'm going to finish this one, boys and girls, so you'll be able to see my example, but also you'll be able to see the examples that I have on our board as well. And boys and girls, now it's your turn. Let's go and make some art. As I said, we're going to do this together as a class.